Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and I'm back from my retreat. We just got back today, and I thought I'd come in before I started putting all my crafty stuff back where they belong. I thought I'd come on and do a quick video, show you what I bought, what I made, and tell you a bit about it. It was a wonderful place. The retreat was run by the absolutely lovely RachandBella from RachandBella Crafts. They are just the most lovely ladies, and they and all the other ladies made me feel very welcome. And it was an amazing place. It's set on a farm up on a Welsh hillside, and we were mostly crafting and spending most of our time in this big converted barn, which was amazing. And then there was the farmhouse where there was a massive kitchen where we had all our meals. And I was staying in a room in the farmhouse itself, as were quite a few of the others. So yeah, it was a fantastic spot. We had pretty good weather most of the time. It sometimes started off a bit wet, but every day it brightened up and it was lovely. So that was brilliant. I have to confess, I find these things always at the beginning of something like this a bit challenging for me. I'm not very good at just joining a group of people and chatting away. And I know there are people who can just get on with it, and I envy that ability. I really do. I wish I could do it, but I really can't. So the first day I was fairly quiet. I was just listening and joining in here and there, but it takes me a while to find my way in a group of people, especially when they all know each other and I don't know anybody. But I was getting there, and by the time I left, I was feeling very much more part of the group. I felt that they saw me as part of their group as well, which was lovely. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely go again. They've got 3 each year. I don't think I'll make the next one that's on this year, but I might make 1 or 2 of them next year. Certainly I would like to do the summer one again. So we'll see. Who knows what the future may bring and what happens, but definitely worth going. I'm so glad I did. And then we had, so we were staying in a little Airbnb. It was like a little chalet in the middle of the most beautiful countryside near Malvern, which is about an hour's drive away from where the retreat was. And we were just surrounded by the most amazing landscape. It was just a beautiful spot. So while I was crafting, my husband did lots of walking up in the hills where we were and around where we were staying. And then we had a couple of days together, and we went in and did explored the local area, went into Malvern itself, which is a lovely little town, and a couple of other places. And I did quite a lot of shopping, I have to confess. So I thought I'd show you what I got, both at the retreat and when I was, walking around these areas. I seemed to find something wherever we went. I managed to find something, even if it was only a small thing. But I was very fortunate. I found some amazing things. So this is what I bought at the retreat. Now Rachel and Bella have a little shop that they laid out for us every day, where we could buy things if we wanted to, and of course most of us did. I'm sure a lot of people bought stuff because they had some lovely things for sale. Things that they'd made or things that they were selling on. A lot of things that were just things that they had. Like I've got, and I'll show you what I've got, and then you can see. So this is a little pack. Sorry about the crinkling. I ought to get them out really, didn't I? I haven't got them out the pack yet. I haven't got anything out the packs. So I might edit this bit out because it's a bit noisy. But these little spools of, I think there's a spool of fabric with some lace. Each one has got a spool, like a strip of fabric, really pretty. You can see how pretty that fabric is, with some coordinating lace with it. And I just thought they were lovely. And I'm sure I will use those, and they are very much the colours of the journals that we made. You may have seen my videos where I made the belly bands and tucks for the journals, and I'll show you the journal that I came home with. And these are the colours, or some of the colours that were in it. Oh, I hadn't even realised they were wrapped in this little piece of stamped fabric. It's like is it a calico, something like that? It's quite thick, unless that's doubled over. I'm not sure. It is doubled over, look. Whoops. See, I'm just opening these things myself for the first time. I don't even know what I've got. See, oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that stamped there. So that would be a lovely thing to put on a tag or something. So, yeah, all these little things that you don't even know are in there. So that's one thing I bought. Now, Bella is an absolutely amazing stitcher. She did a workshop at the retreat doing some beautiful stitching with a lot of the girls joining in. A lot of the girls really enjoyed their stitching. And she had a few things for sale, and I bought this that she'd made. Isn't that beautiful? I just loved it. I love the colours. And it's just a really lovely little pouch. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it yet, but it's going to be something special. I think for the moment I'm going to put these little bits in so I don't lose them. I'm going to pop those in there, but I think I might keep my special laces or something in there. Not sure at the moment, but I will find a use for it. I just thought it was so pretty, so I got that. And it's just nice to have something handmade, something I couldn't do myself. Sometimes you think, oh, you know, I could make that, you know, if you see something, but I couldn't make this. I don't do hand stitching, so that was a lovely thing to have. By the way, this cloth underneath is nothing to do with things that I bought. This is just one I've got in my pulled out of my box to cover up my horrible dirty mat, so that these things aren't spoiled. Right, so this was a pack I bought as well. I think this is probably meant as a slow stitching pack, so I'll just quickly undo it. Right, so I don't know if it's meant for slow stitching, don't think it matters what it's for. So there's a couple of lovely little yo-yos there, piece of lace, and some really pretty bits of, I'm assuming may well be vintage fabrics, I really don't know, but aren't they gorgeous? I'm just really loving fabrics at the moment. I don't know whether, I can't use all the fabrics that I seem to be acquiring, I can't just fall in love with them. I just love them, so I'm going to be trying to get as many fabrics as I can into my retreat journal. I'm already making some ruffles. These are just lovely little pieces. So I've got that little pet set. And I bought this. The craft room is my happy place. So little job for my husband to put that on the wall at some point. So yeah, that was nice. I like that. And then I just bought a pack of dyed paper. Just a coffee or tea dyed, I'm not quite sure which, but it doesn't really matter. I just thought it was handy to have because the weather's just not been nice enough to actually do any dyeing, and I think I'm going to need to do some before long, so I thought, well, I'll get that. Just puts off the moment. And the weather's pretty rubbish still. I thought by the time I got back from my retreat, I thought we'd be fully into summer, but no. I think next week it's meant to be getting a lot better, in theory. Right, so that's that little lot. Now, one of the things that we did at the retreat is a lot of us took things for swaps or to donate, I suppose, really, because it's not exactly, you know, I'll give you this if you give me that. We just put things out that we brought that we perhaps would like to share on a table or there was a sofa, and we laid things out. And I took some pieces of fabric. I had this massive curtain, and I think I cut it into about 12 good sized pieces that were more manageable, so they'd be plenty for a journal cover with a bit over. I think I took about 12 pieces, roughly, and I brought home only 4 because she asked us to bring home anything that didn't go, to take it home, so she didn't have to deal with it, which I totally understand. So I went and picked up what was left, and there were only 4 pieces left. So I thought, well, that's good. That, you know, people have wanted to take those bits of fabric, which is lovely. I took a stencil that I had 2 of, and I thought, well, I might as well give this away. It was a Dilution stencil, a big one. That's gone. And I took I was tearing out loads of pages from some of my old uni books, the French books and the German books, lots of different sizes and different colours. They all went, because people had asked for some foreign book pages, so I just took what I could. So they went. And what else did I take? I was making, the day before I went, I got everything packed and I hadn't really got much to do, so I sat making a bunch of wax seals. I had a really lovely time and took them all with me, and they all went, so that was worth doing. I think that was most of it, I think. Oh yeah, and I took a whole bunch of napkins as well. You tend to buy packs, I'm sure you'll know, when you buy a pack of napkins, you get like 20 or so in the pack. And how many do you use? Maybe 1 or 2. And so I had loads of packs of napkins, and I thought, well, I'll take a couple out for myself to keep, and take the rest with me and see if anybody wants them. I think I brought 2 napkins back with me. There was loads, and they all went, so that was really good. I was so pleased. So that was that. And in return, people brought things that they had, and one lady brought a whole load of these little gorgeous little crocheted flowers in all these different colours. I mean, she had a whole array of them. And I went over with one of the other girls and we just picked through them and picked all the ones that we thought we'd like to use. Most of them are the small ones. I've got a little heart here and a slightly bigger pink one. And I thought, well, these are just lovely because they're not overly bulky. I can put a little pearl or something in the middle. And I thought it'd make a nice little embellishment. Aren't they sweet? So picked up a bunch of those. And one lady brought this beautiful piece of, I think it's from an Indian sari. I didn't know it came like this. I always thought it was much heavier than the fabric, but this is like a real, something like a chiffon. Isn't it so pretty? So that's lovely. That was Ronnie, I think. If you're watching, Ronnie, thank you very much. I should be doing something with this. I'm not sure what, but I will because it's beautiful. And I can't remember who brought this, but one of the ladies brought a quilt that she'd cut up into basically journal cover size pieces. And I got a piece. Oh, I'm so pleased with it. Look at this. It's perfect for a journal cover. And it's just so pretty. The colours I love. It's gorgeous. So I won't know well, it'll have to be that way round, but I really love this piece. But I think it has to be that way round. I can't turn it up the other way. I think it would look upside down, I think. Or would it? No, it would. Look, the butterfly's upside down. Sorry, can you see that? Probably off camera. The butterfly's upside down, so it would need to be this way round. And I'd need to think of a way to somehow edge this, I think. Like this has got a bit of the edge here, which is rather good. That I've got a bit of the edge already, so I've got to worry about the bottom. But I might have to find, because I'm not really very good at this sort of thing, but I'd want to find a way to kind of give it a nice finish. But that is lovely. Really love that. So that's that. So that's all the things I think from the retreat that I either bought or was given. And then after the retreat finished, the first thing we did was we went into Abergavenny, which is a lovely little Welsh town very near to where the retreat was held. So my husband picked me up and we went into Abergavenny to have some lunch. And while we were there, there was a market on. It was an indoor market, lovely little flea market it was. And there was a lady selling fabrics. She didn't have very many because it wasn't her main business. She just had a few hanging up that were I think her mother had a fabric shop and she was just trying to clear the stock. So I picked up 2 pieces and she gave them to me, both of them, for half price of what they were being sold for. Ooh, and this one's pretty heavy. They're both Sanderson fabrics, which is a really, really good make. I believe this one's a Sanderson. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Sanderson and Sons. So it's a really lovely fabric, and straight away I was thinking autumn journal. Gorgeous. I've got a couple of things that I could use. I could make several autumn journals with some of the lovely things I have for covers, but I couldn't resist because I thought it was really pretty. And the other one is this one. It's like a really lovely poppy design floral. It's massive. It's like a whole, I don't know, it's like a whole piece for a curtain or something. It's a huge piece. So I reckon when I go to the next retreat, maybe, that I go to, I'll be taking some of this to share, I reckon, because there's far more than I'm ever going to need, but it is lovely. And also a Sanderson fabric. So I'm going to try and fold it back up again now. It's quite heavy. And it's like, it says, oops, sorry about that, spring journal, summer journal, poppy journal. I mean, there's so many options for something you can make with this. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces of fabric. I don't know where to put them now. Put them there. They're quite heavy when you get a big piece like that. Okay, so that was just the first day that I left the retreat, and then the next day we went into Malvern, which is a nice little quite old town, and I went into a charity shop. Now you might think this is odd, but they had this. It's only £1, and this is curtain tape. You know that you hook your curtains onto. You hook them into these bits. And I know that Rachel did a video not very long ago when she used this. I think she'd got some, I think, from a charity shop. And she used it to make a snippet roll. And I thought, I could do that. And there's lots of it. There's 2 meters for £1. So I think you probably have to take, I don't know whether you have to take the string out. I'll have to watch her video again, see what she did with it, whether she took the string out or not. But it's just a nice width, and I thought, I've never made wide. I always make narrow snippet rolls, only about this wide usually, on strips of fabric. So I thought it'd be quite nice to just do something a bit different. Use this as the base, and try and make a snippet roll with it. I mean, not all of it in one go, but I'll do a strip. So I might do that at some point in the not too distant future, because what she made was really lovely, and I thought, oh, I'd like to do that. So that was just I happened to spot it, and I thought I'll get that. So that was that. All my little crochet flowers are falling out the pot. Just put those back. I don't know, must have knocked them. And then, so was that all I got in Malvern? I think, yes, I think this is. They also had in Malvern, which is not an antique shop or anything, but I got a bit excited because they had a Works. Now the Works is a shop that we have over here, and they do craft stuff. They do loads of stuff, kids games and all sorts of stuff. It's not a real craft shop, but they have craft sections, and a lot of them have closed down around the country. There's only seemed to be, the Works only seems to be open here and there, so you don't see it very often. And I haven't got one anywhere near me. Used to be one not far away, and it closed. So when I saw this, I thought, well, I'll have a look, see what they've got. So I've got myself a new craft knife, because the one I've got, the top end is broken off, so it's blunt, and I can't sort of unscrew it to take it out and replace it. So I thought, well, it was only £3, I'll get a new one. And then I got a couple of, I think this was what I used on, I think this is a roll I used to decorate my craft trolley with. So I thought, I'll get another one of those, because I think I used most of it up. And then this one is like vine leaves with little, what's it called? Decoration vine. So it's a vine leaf on a sort of twine. What do you call it? Hemp, like a hemp twine. And I think there's some little buds on there as well. I don't know quite what it's like. Perhaps I'll get, can't get it out because I haven't unpacked my scissors yet. Let's see if I've got any. I've got any scissors. Oh yes, I have. Just one moment. I'll get myself. Right, so yeah, it's this kind of vine stuff. And I thought it might be quite nice with my owl and fairy journal, because I think it's got the colours that certainly are in the medieval mirage kit. It's got these little rosebuds on it here and there. So I thought that would be quite something I could use to decorate some of the pages. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. And then I've got this paper pad. I need more paper pads like a hole in the head. I don't say I have a lot of them. I don't have as many as I used to, because I got rid of an awful lot of stuff when I moved. So now I just have ones that I really like. And I saw this. Unfortunately, it's only single-sided, but I really like the papers. So I'll have to, so I'll just, hoping it's on screen. If I do it that way, I just thought it's really pretty. And a lot of this, right, it's got a lot of, it's got this lovely floral background and then script all over it. And a lot of it's in German and a lot of it's in the old German script, and that's what really took my eye. And there's, I mean, this is in English, this is all in German, and can I just see if they're, can you see? Yeah. Yeah, I just thought this was really unusual and a really, really pretty, usable pad. Got all sorts of, but it's all script. And then this is more German here, and oh, that's a lovely one as well. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Oh, I love this with all the flourishes. And this one, and I don't know if they repeat. So far, I haven't seen any repeats. Got this one, just a bit. But I haven't seen anything like this, and a more German script. I like all this German going on. Love it. and all the different fonts and things that it's got in it. More floral with script on top. Oh, I think this looks like, is this the same as the first one? Maybe it's a repeat of the first one, is it? Yes, so yes, it must be 2 of each. 12 designs, but there's 24 papers. So yeah, really like that. And it's nice, quite thick. It's just a bit of a shame it's single-sided, but I can work with that. So that's the paper pad. So that was the stuff from the works, which I thought I did okay there. I was quite happy with that stuff. Then what did I do? Oh yes, then we went to, I'm trying to think if it was both the same place. But anyway, I went into another little town called Ledbury, and I think it was in one of the charity shops. So I went into 2 charity shops in 2 different places on the same day. So I think one was Ledbury, one was somewhere else. Can't remember. But anyway, the first charity shop I went into, they had a whole section for books, and there was a bookcase full of old books, which is quite unusual. None of the charity shops near me hardly ever have anything old, properly old. And so I rarely get really nice old books. But I thought, well, maybe places like that I might be more lucky, and I was. So the first one I picked up was this Stanley Gibbons 1954 postage stamp catalogue, and I just thought the pages were really interesting for decorating, for collage. It's got all these stamps, all these old stamps. I just thought it was really nice book, and I thought, yeah, I like that. I'm going to get that and start using that in my collages, because I don't do a lot of collaging, but I love collaging, so I'm going to do more. And then in the same bookshelf, I was looking. What I said to myself, I don't need a lot of old books. I've got a few. And I've got all those ones I had from uni. I don't need just an ordinary old book. But if I find something which I've never found before, anything in a foreign language, apart from, that might be different to what I've got, that would be interesting. And I found this little book. This one here. It's, I think it's from possibly 1923. It says, this book belonged to William Peyton Kerr from All Souls College, Oxford, and in memory of him was given to Lionel Smith, October 1927, but the actual book plate is dated 1923. So that's 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago. So I thought, well, this is proper antique. And it's in Latin. I've never come across an old book in any kind of other language, but in Latin, that is unusual. I don't think I've ever seen anybody. I'm sure people do have Latin books, but the font is really, really lovely, and I got a bit excited. Latin, I mean, it's just amazing, and it's just a lovely colour, and I just thought, well, I'm going to use this on everything for backgrounds and things on my makes. So yeah, I was really, really pleased to find that. So I thought, well, that's it. I've done really well. I don't really need to look for any more, but I can't help myself. So I think we stopped in this little town. It was the last place we went to. That was yesterday, and I think it was the Herefordshire Wildlife Trust charity shop. And they had a few books as well, and some oldish books. And I found one of these, Country Diary of an Audion Lady. Couldn't believe it. I've been looking for another one of these. I do have one which I have taken a lot out of. And I'm always on the lookout for it. It's just, I think we all do, don't we? We're always looking for one of these, and they're really hard to find these days. And it cost me £3, which I thought was pretty good. I'm sure you can pay a lot more than £3 for one of these. If you buy them online or something, I don't know how much they normally are. And you can probably get them for less, but I think it's getting harder to get them for peanuts these days. And look what's inside. Absolutely beautiful bookmark. It looks like real pressed flowers on there. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, and it's in great condition. So I have now got a second Edith Holder book, which I'm very happy about. So that was my holiday haul, really. I think I did really well. Unexpectedly, I didn't expect to do so well, particularly on the books, because I never find good books. And having found 3, it was a real bonus. And all my gorgeous stuff from the retreat. So that is what I bought. Now I'll show you what I made. No, I didn't make this. I just remembered this was something I bought at the retreat, and I'd forgotten because it was still in my big bag. I mean, the box itself is gorgeous, but inside the box is more gorgeousnness. It's absolutely, well, not the, oh yeah, these I bought separately. I've got some little wooden buttons, which are really, really sweet. They've got little roses and butterflies on, so that was something I bought separately, which I'd forgotten about as well, because I put it in here. This box is all full of little lace scraps and little bits of embellishment, really pretty things, gorgeous, a little bit of ribbon, little bits of trim, all sorts of yummy things, little flower. So yeah, I bought this box, and actually when it was for sale, it was sort of sat like that, and it was only after I decided to put the lid on I realised how lovely that the whole thing was as a total thing. And in fact, it's not all in there because I've already used some of it on my journal, so I'll show you that. But yeah, I just was really pleased with that. I can't resist gorgeous little bits of lace like this. It's just so lovely, and it's it's different to what I've got myself, and I couldn't help myself. I had to. Got this bit of rick-rack, all sorts of lovely things in here. So, yeah, I mean, I have used some, but it's quite hard to use these sort of things because they're so pretty. Hoarding is the natural inclination is just not to use any of it, but I'm going to, because I think it looks better on a project than it does in a box or rammed in. Anyway, so that's my box of gorgeousness. And so the journal I made before I went, which I showed you making, I just did the basic and just covered it with fabric, if you remember, this lovely fabric. And I've done the cover. I haven't got much further than that, but I have done the cover, and I was really happy with that. So this little cluster here was in my box. This piece of trim was in my box. And these other pieces of lace were both from the pack that I'd actually bought from RachandBella Crafts before I went. About a month ago I bought, more than that, probably a couple of months ago maybe, I bought a pack of vintage French lace from them, and I've been hanging on to it because I wanted to use it for this and for possibly another project that I might do with the same kits later on. So I've just covered the spine with this piece. I may trim it off, it's dangling down a bit, but at the moment I'm leaving it as it is. And so yeah, so I got a piece of this, and there's a little bit left in here of this pink, really pretty pink. So it brings the two colours together because the kits have got pink and blue in, and this was pink with a little bit of blue, so I thought that went well. This is a piece from the ephemera that came with the billet doux kit. It's a lady writing a letter, and I really like that on there. And I've just put a few bits behind her, a bit of script there, so that you can just to tie in with the theme. So I'm very happy with that. I haven't done a closure yet. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. And I've got a few pieces of ephemera that I made. I didn't make a huge amount. I didn't really have time. I put a bit of lace on here. I put a little tuck that was from the Medieval Mirage kit, and then I put this little bit of sort of clustery thing on here with one of those buttons that I bought. Bit of the printed fabric, and this is a bit from the vintage French lace. That may be all. Oh no, I did do more. I can't remember what I did, because although I wasn't chatting to people all the time, but I seemed to take an awful long time to get anything done anyway. I think partly because working from a bag that's just sat next to you, a couple of bags I had, you're forever diving down the bag trying to find things. It's really hard. Instead of having everything set out around you like I would if I was at home at my desk, having to find everything from the depths of a bag every 2 minutes, every time I think, oh, I need this, I need this. It seems to take forever to get anything done. So there was an awful lot of faffing going on, trying to find things. So this is a little lacy pocket with a little fussy cut from this one is from the Medieval Mirage kit, because it goes with the Medieval Mirage paper. So I've got that little pocket there. Don't think I did anything else, or did I? No, I think that's as far as I got as far as working in the journal. It's a bit pathetic, really. But I'm still not sure I like it quite as sticking out as that. I'm not sure about that piece. But because my cover is so much bigger than my pages, I'm sort of trying to fill up the space. I still loved it. I still love this. I think that's gorgeous. Anyway, so that's as far as I got as far as working in the journal. Not terribly impressive. I did make a few pieces. A couple I made there, and a couple I made when I got back to our little place in Malvern. So this one is this is a glassine bag, a little glassine bag. I took a pack of some of the things from my to-do box, just from bits of packaging and envelopes and various bits and pieces. I thought, well, if I'm going to make any ephemera, I want to use things from my to-do box. So this wasn't in the to-do box, but there's been things I've been wanting to use. These little, I've got a pack of glassine bags, and I thought I'd use that and decorate that. And that also, this little flower here also come from my little red box, so I used that. So yep, and I'm trying to do small things because this is a smaller journal. That I made afterwards. This one I started at the retreat, I think. Yes, this is just a piece of it's a half of a brown envelope. Don't know what happened to the other half, but that's all I had. So I made it into a wraparound pocket, and so it'll go around a page. Let's see if I can find an obvious page to put it on. Well, this probably isn't a good option, but just so you can see. So it just goes in there. Actually, it doesn't look bad there, does it? Quite like that, because you've got the bit of washi there, and it's the same colour as her dress, so that goes quite nicely there. So that's that, and I think I've combined the two kits on this, and I've got some vintage lace and more vintage lace, and then on the back again something from I think I just tore out the papers. I'd printed some of the papers from both kits half size, so some of the images on those papers I was able to tear around, and they were small enough to use in this journal. So I like that. This is from the Medieval Mirage kit. More vintage lace. I was determined I was going to use lots of lace in this journal, and I'm going to carry on with that. So that was that one. And then we had a bit of a wet start to the day on the Thursday. So about halfway through the morning, I thought, well, I might as well get my craft stuff out. So I made this. This was already made. It was made out of book page. So it's got a pocket here and a pocket here. And I just sat and covered the pocket, really. And I used the tissue paper that my lace had been wrapped around, the vintage French lace that I'd ordered. It came wrapped up in this gorgeous tissue paper. It's really, really pretty, very French looking. So I thought, well, I'm going to use that. So I used it on this piece and on this piece, and on this I used some backing paper, bit of lace. This is a little envelope from, I think it was a freebie from RachandBella Crafts, and they did a bunch of envelopes with tiny little letters to put in them. So I've just glued it down by its flap, and there's a little, quite tricky to get out when it's glued down, but there's a little tiny letter in here. Really sweet. Which way up is it meant to be? That way up. There was a whole load of these. I've got a whole load of little tiny envelopes with little tiny letters inside them. So I've just put that one there. And that goes in there like that. And then I just tucked it behind this little piece here and put the Arc de Triomphe in the background. I really like that. And then this one I haven't quite finished, but it's just like a library pocket made with book page, using some of the papers from the 2 kits, combining them together again with this lovely piece of lace. Again, it was from my little box, this little box. So I've used quite a bit already from it. It was quite a big piece, and I've just cut a piece off just to cover it up, but I didn't want to completely cover the paper, because I just think the paper was so pretty. So I just thought this was just right, so you can still see the paper, but it needs a focal point. I haven't quite decided. I was thinking I might put a button on here, or something. I haven't decided. One of these buttons might go on. Not quite sure yet, but that was just the start. So I did that yesterday as well. So that's my, I'm calling it Literary Ladies, because I'm combining the 2 kits, one where ladies are reading and somewhere where they're writing, two separate kits. So that's what I'm calling these journals, Literary Ladies. And that's the few pieces of ephemera I've made so far to go in it. And then finally the journal that I came home with, where we'd all made parts of the journals. And you saw me make mine, and this was the one I got in. What they did was we put them all together. We sewed in the signatures into the covers. We'd all been given covers, Rachel and Bella and their very close friend and colleague Angela Kerr, who also has a very big YouTube channel. She was there too, and she'd made some of the covers. In fact, she made this one. And then everybody, we all sewed in one of a signature that we'd put in all the pockets and belly bands and tucks and all those things. We just put in what we'd made, and then it all went into a raffle. We were all given a raffle ticket, and then we got given a journal, and this is the one I got. And as it happened, I think this was one that Angela herself had sewn in. But I was very thrilled, rather pleased to find she'd used elastic binding rather than the standard sewing in, which I think most of us had done. She'd done elastic binding on hers, which means I was able to add some more papers and move them around, which was rather great. I really liked that, because I had some papers that I took with me that I thought I might be able to use, and I was able to add them to the journal that I'd been given. So I'm opening that up, and there's a fair bit of work still to be done in this. Of course, I need to do something on the cover, and so this was the belly band that was already there, and I did take a few pieces. Is this upside down? Yes, it is. It's upside down. Sorry. So that's why I need to finish the cover, so I know which way up. I have the book, so I'll start this way, the right way round. And so there's a tuck here, and there's some papers. I added this bit of avocado dyed paper. I also added this, which was a hinged page. So this side was made into a tuck spot, which I've attached to this paper, which is another one I added. And then I'm going to put this pocket here. It's a paper bag. And a belly band. That was the belly band that was included, that somebody had made, with this lovely little added journal card. But then there was another space to put something right behind it as well. So there's like a double belly band. And I actually had taken a few pieces from my own stash of things that I'd made in the hope that they would go, and this was one of them, and that has tucked in there rather nicely, so I was really pleased about that. This is the middle of, and what I actually did when I started adding my own papers and extra bits, I realised I could make it into 2 signatures, because there were 2 elastics, or the elastic was been threaded through twice, so there was a double. So I've actually split it, so I've got 2 signatures. So there's another belly band on this side, and just keep going through. This is the other half of the hinged piece. Sorry, this piece here is attached to this piece here. I think this was something I did as part of Roxy's Weekly Challenge, and I thought it went really well with all the colours. So that's gone in. And then this was a pocket, but it was only clipped in, so I have now glued it in here, that somebody made. It was only paper clipped in, so I could move it around again. The whole journal was great because I could put things where I wanted. I could move the papers around, I could move some of the pockets around. Not very much was absolutely glued in. So these were a couple of tags that I brought with me. I took with me. So they've gone in there. I thought those colours would go. And then this was a journal card that I took as well. So again, all seems to go quite nicely. And I've gone over here. This one I still haven't quite found a permanent home for, so this is still clipped in, this piece. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it, but at the moment it's fine where it is, and I may just glue it in there. I haven't quite decided. So that's the first signature, and then this is the second signature. And I added this piece. And this one, now Tuesday, the second day, it was all workshops most of the day. And I did a really lovely workshop with Jez from Nigezza Creates. I will link her video, her video below, because she actually has uploaded a video showing the technique that she taught us. And I think that's not on this side. We did some things with baby wipes and re-inkers, some effects. And I didn't do it particularly well, and I want to have another go, but I did put the paper that I'd used, that I worked on, in here. So there's a dragonfly stamped here, and another stamp here, and a bit of swooshing that I did. She does a much better job of it, so watch her video if you want to see what she did and what this was supposed to look like. And then when I started working on this, I added a bit of extra stamping. I added a bit of washi tape down here because there were tears in the paper and I didn't want it to get worse. I did some stenciling here and a bit more stamping. So yeah, I just worked on this paper a bit to make it fit. This is some gorgeous paper that Jez herself designed that she shared with us, and I think is probably going to go up in her coffee shop. I don't know for sure, but then you'll have to check her channel to see. But I thought it went really well. Those two pages go well together. This is part of the original journal. This was a piece that I took with me. I think that's a library card pocket and a tag that I put with it that didn't necessarily go together, but I put that on there, and I did the stenciling in the background on this piece as well. So this is going to have, it's got a side tuck here. So yeah, I stenciled on that, and there's just writing space there. Another page that I added with more of Jez's lovely print. This is the pocket. I haven't quite decided where it's going to go in, but I thought the colours went really well together here, which is why I put this in, because I thought that and those colours pick up really nicely. This is a pocket that I was given by one of the ladies on my table because she'd made extra, so I put that there. And this is one of the cards that I took with me and added to it, I think. No, this isn't. I didn't make this. No. I'm thinking I don't remember doing that. No, I think this may have come from Jez. I think she gave us all some extra journal cards. So I popped that in there because I thought it went really well together. And this is a little pocket that came with the journal. And I think this is one I made, I believe, as part of Roxy's Weekly Challenge a while ago. So I've popped that in there. And that's the other half of the paper that I did in the workshop. Not very well, but I quite like it. I quite like this raggedy edge as well. Not something I very often do, but I like it. And then I added this bit of stenciling again. And this was another pocket that the same lady who gave us all extra pockets. She gave us all one of these and one of these. So that's that. I haven't got anything to go in that yet. And then there's this belly band, and again it's the same, made in the same style with the extra journal card integral to it, and then room for another card behind it, which is one I made myself that I took with me. Again, I took quite a few with me in the end. So I feel like this journal's quite well filled out as far as pockets and things go. I don't know, I may put a few more in, but it's got quite a bit in there already. So I just feel it needs a bit of decoration. So I started making some ruffles. I've made this one, but the only one I got finished, because there was a sewing machine there, but I didn't get a chance to use it more than the once to make this ruffle. So I thought that might go in, and I'm going to make another one, another pink one, and make a couple of blue ones and a couple of green ones, and put those in here. Probably add some lace as well. There's a few places that need some ephemera making. So I've got this pocket here. This is from an Artie Maze kit, which I thought went really well with everything else. So there we are. That's the journal that I have made. I did quite a bit of work on this journal. I was working on this on the Tuesday, which is why I didn't get an awful lot done on the other one, because I was kind of, once we'd got our journals, once we'd done our journal raffle and had our journals, I was keen to get working on it. Could almost put it on the front there, you know. Maybe. Don't know. Anyway, I'm going to make some more of those. So yeah, so that's my journal, and I was really thrilled with that when I realised that it was an elastic binding and I could actually really play around with it and move stuff around to where I wanted them to be. So it probably looks absolutely nothing like what I received, but I think that's the whole idea, that we had some things made for us by our fellow crafters, but then we had the opportunity to now make these journals our own and make them. Everyone will end up being totally unique. So that's it. That's my retreat news, retreat purchases, and my makes. So I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what's happening about more videos coming up, because while we were away, our bathroom fitter contacted us and said he can start work on our bathroom on Monday. This is now Saturday. We've only just got home, and they're going to start pulling our bathroom apart on Monday, which is right next door to my craft room. So if I get any crafting done next week, it'll have to be downstairs somewhere. So I'm not quite sure how that'll work out. Well, we'll see. I might get in here again tomorrow, Sunday morning. Depends, we've got lots of things to do, but I might get one more video in the can before I have to stay away, because I think once the banging and crashing starts next door, nobody's going to want me to be making videos in here. So I will see you when I see you, hopefully very soon, and thanks for joining me. Bye for now.